Good afternoon,
Yeah,
ladies and gents. Good afternoon. It's the finals day, Alpha. How much are you interested and hyped up for this one?
I'm so hyped. I mean, we are going to see the best teams of EU play against each other, first of all, for the third place, and then for the first place of the EU team. So, definitely amazing matches coming up for us.
Yeah, definitely. Looking forward to it. I actually was surprised at the way the finals has gone through. We've seen a few exceptional matches, but obviously a few teams got disappointed early on in group stages that were expected to kind of go all the way. Story Enjoyers being one of them. Obviously put out there by Rough Justice, who I actually thought were going to go all the way. End up getting put down into the third place matchup here against Argo, which will be our first matchup today. That's going to be an interesting match for sure to start with. But obviously, going into the finals, following that one, we've got YB, who were expected to be our favourites of the tournament. They've gone all the way. They're here in the final now, but they're against Nerf Everything, which was a surprise as well. They managed to pick up that win against Rough Justice, who we'll see later on, having to fight off for that third place. What do you think for prediction wise for the third place matchup then? Like CB
Um,
and Drayton were thinking.
I mean, CB flipped the coin for Argonauts. I'm not really sure if I'm going with it because Argonauts, they are a coin flip team and they can play really, really good. But I think Rough Justice, they are amazing team as well. And they have put out Story Enjoyers, felt a bit flat against Nerf Everything, but I still think they are one of the best teams in EU, and I think they will take it here 3-1, I would say.
Oh, nice, nice. I've got a funny feeling as well. I'm kind of going Rough Justice. I did have Rough Justice to kind of be one of the few into the final here. I actually thought it was going to be them and YB in the final, especially after their ending group stage where they won against Apes, and then they ended up putting out Story Enjoyers, which was just an absolute upset for anybody, to be honest. If you beat Story Enjoyers at that point in time, you know, you kind of expect to see them going all the way through to the final because they were probably the second best team on paper to kind of make it to the final against YB. But yeah, that's the way it is. There's a few players in there that are just massive key players you want to look out for. Blood Story, for one, on the Rough Justice side. All round player, fantastic. Knows for his obviously his maul play. And yeah, you just need to nerf him more than nerf everybody. But they obviously fell flat, like you says earlier, against nerf everything, who ended up taking the win. But yeah, I think the Rough Justice have the upper hand here. I think for going
Yeah.
into it against Argonauts, but
Yes, definitely. And I think as we are already in the lobby and the players are loading in, we can talk about the maps and picks and bans for both teams here. Because that's also interesting, because we will be seeing one map we've only seen on the American side here in a few minutes, and this is Reginopolis. What do you think about it, Mark?
I really like Reginopolis. It was interesting that it's only just come up now. Obviously on the EU side, we did see it, like we said, at the last round in one of the matches. But yeah, I think this is going to be an interesting matchup between the two sides. I think Argonauts have good experience on Reginopolis, but Rough Justice, I think, will find a way. But the fact that they've got certain unit bans, for example, Sifonori, Psychelian Militia,
Yes.
and Senji Grenadiers all being banned, it's going to be a difficult task here with the all these kind of flames and CC units to kind of stop them. Yeah, it'll be an interesting one to see how that goes into it.
Yes, definitely. You have already talked about the bands. So we got some really common bands, but then looking at those bands, I also see two bands I didn't ever expect to see. And those are coming from Argonauts, as far as I see here. And these are Pavis and Houndsman. I
Interesting
really have
choice.
no idea why you would ban Pavis. The Houndsmen, though, they are really strong with the new doctrine introduced to the game just lately, with the double shot for archers, which is an amazing doctrine for them, as far as I've
Yeah,
seen.
I mean it might be because of that, or it might just be because they could be a good old hero killer, extra damage from a distance. You know, same with the Pavis. The Pavis can put out some of the double shots on that can be devastating some heroes as well. But maybe that's kind of why they're trying to get rid of any of the predominant hero killer units that potentially can kick you from a distance and kind of unexpectedly. But I don't.
Yes. I mean,
Interesting choice.
Pavisa, also a good or decent anti-cav. They can stop cav charges in their tracks, but I didn't really see them work in ranked or something. But maybe they know something I don't know, so they banned it because they didn't want to play it and had the fear Rough Justice would play them. And yeah, last but not least, the last ban that was made here is the heavy cuff I see on paper,
Yan
but in
Yudao
the lobby
Cav.
it's
Yeah,
Yan Yudao. I'm not sure
that's why
which
I was
one it
confused.
is, um, but we will definitely find out
So
in a bit.
far, so it says Jan Udell, but we'll wait and see. Yeah, like it
Yeah.
could be changed before the match starts up on our screen side. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. Definitely with these choices of bans. I think maybe the Pavis and the Hensman are banned for a reason. Maybe they're not. Maybe they're just a unit ban that nobody's going to use anyway. So they banned it for that reason, so that they can actually use certain units they want to use. Because maybe they're expecting people to ban Phalanx, for example, who have been predominantly used throughout the series as a ban. And maybe that's just a kind of a way of saving that unit and stuff, so that they don't have to have an extra major unit that will be seen on the battlefield.
Yes, I mean, Phalanx got safe from Rough Justice, so they definitely want to bring it. And Argonauts, they saved themselves the Reaper, so we will see both those strong infantry units being played here in a few minutes, as the teams are already everyone in the lobby. And I think we will be good to go in a few seconds here.
Yeah, both teams are heavy units and heavy armor classes as well. So like I think it's kind of tying beside each other. They're both kind of looking to lead that way from the front with their heroes and stuff. But yeah, you're going to expect a few different strategies here. I wonder if Queen's Knights, for example, will be used quite a lot here for Argonauts because they have used that in the past, along with their Palace Guards and their anti-cav units from Medal. But like we said, we've got a heavy cavalry band. It is heavy cavalry at the end there. So that is banned. So that maybe there won't be as much anti-cav units being put into place here. But we're about to get into it. This is the first matchup here. It's Rough Justice versus Argonauts here on Reginopolis. You're going to see a mighty old match here as the first place playoff starts now.
And we are in it. We see Rough Justice on the left and Argonauts on the right. And I already see so much infantry being brought. But also, look at this. On the left side, Rough Justice bringing the Banner Guards. Maybe just to reset those cooldowns of the charges of some of the
Yeah.
units, especially Imperial Pikes, probably.
This will be the first time we've seen them as well on the battlefield so far for this CBL. Interesting unit choice for sure. But not really very many major stuff used changed. You can see a lot of people picking double gold units here in the Rough Justice side, and very similar to the Argonaut side here as well. So definitely going for that heavy classes and strong dominating side because Queen's Knights have been used once again for quite a lot of the players on the Argonaut side as we expected, along with the Rotten Marksman as well. A few units of that already as your blue tier unit to support the rest of the Palace Guards and such like.
Yes, definitely. And I already see there's not much cavalry to come in, so we will probably just see some maybe Queen's Knights flanks and the companion cuff that's being brought here for some flanks, but mainly heavy infantry pushes. And I think looking at Argonauts, they are bringing a ton of heavy heroes. While Rough Justice, they have a lot of muskets here with them.
Yeah, Musket's been a very dominant side for them as well. They've normally between 5 and 7 musket heroes at the start of these matchups. They probably swap out every now and then as well, to depend on the position and where they are on the battlefield. But yeah, for the most part, a lot of the muskets are being used as a devastating, especially as an attack and force, because it's a good position on top of walls that you can use that to your advantage if you're shooting down on top of units that are hiding behind the walls, especially here on Reginopolis.
Yes, and I've also seen one Blue Blade and one Pike for the defense that might even also change out their weapons as we go in, and the defense is already falling back from A and B, going straight to the C point, so we won't see a and B defense here. But some of the heroes stay in the front, just making sure they are using the artillery that's given to them for free and not waste those.
Yeah, exactly that. This is the normal stations. They had a few players just at the front rail ready to take some siege towers down potentially, but on Reginopolis, it is so quick and so easy to use the artillery on the outside to destroy the artillery on the walls. So therefore, it's pretty much never a strategy to kind of defend A and B against a very strong squad like Wolf Justice or anybody really in the CBL. For the most time, you'll be very lucky if you can defend that A and B section on Reginopolis. So the C point being heavily defended, fortified by walls, and there's different ways to defend it as well. So that'll tend to be the strategy at the start of the match here, and obviously bombards that you get as the attacker. It could be devastating if you're just caught out in the wrong position.
Yes, definitely. Bombards, as you've talked about them before, they have already opened both breaches towards the supply point, and the main gate will not be open, as I just see the ram is not even being pushed now. Only one siege tower is being pushed, so this one will be the point of attack probably, as we have no defense. I think that's enough. Oh, and the left side breaches is open as well. Okay.
Yeah, so you've got a Argonaut set up here with two different defensive strategies here up in the MAC here at home point, C point, sorry. Looking towards that breach that has already been broken, and also inside the fortification surrounding the actual C zone, because these are very important areas. There's places where they could set up mortars here on the wall to give them that extra opportunity here to kind of deal damage to units prior to their push of Rough Justice. So yeah, will be interesting to see, considering they're limited to the amount of artillery they can use as a defending side in comparison to your attackers. So used a couple of trebs already as an attacking force as well. So
Yes, and A and B will be captured in a few seconds. So then afterwards, we will see a lot of artillery deployments from both sides. Defense already deployed. Some mortars. I see here some culverines as well. And I don't know where those three culverines are looking at. You can see in the top of your screen right
Culverins
now.
look like they're actually attacking towards the bombards and stuff like that. I don't know if
They are
that's
shooting the traps.
or the trebs, yeah. Trebs damage gone down.
Okay.
There's one treb almost finished, actually. That's about to fall now. There you go, as we see on screen there, just for a second. But yeah, the treb goes, and already Rough Justice getting themselves set up, getting their units all and changed over where needed at the supply point that they have. And you can see Argonauts already with their musket players on the outside, trying to deal some damage to some units over the top of the wall as well, and just making a nuisance, just making units move around here, trying to probably bait out some trebs possibly, because you have got a few units outside the walls, which could be a way to kind of minimize the amount of damage, because you could spot that quite far away with the trebs, and then try and bait it out as much as possible.
Yeah, probably. And I already saw one unit of Queen's Knights in the tunnel, so we might see also a small flank coming in from those tunnels. As you have a small point of attack with two ladders in the back of the C point where you can climb up, which would be perfect for Queen's Knights to come up there and just do massive damage in the flank while the rest of the team is pushing the front.
Especially considering nobody's really kind of got any units in the back there. When normally you see a lot of players defending with their units in there, because it's harder to hit a few shots on there. As a treb comes in there on the palace guards, does just miss them though at the very top there. Vegeta managing to actually move into the last couple of treb shots almost there, but avoids it for the most part. A lot
Yeah,
of hero
nice
fights.
job. Nice job
Heroes
from
just trying to bait
Argonauts.
here, aren't they? Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. They are just baiting out so much. They have already dealt with 4 traps, and they are now looking against a wall of mortars being set up from the attackers. But those mortars on the A point, I don't think they will hit inside of the C point because they don't have the range for it.
Yeah, they're just short. It looks like they're just hitting the front entrance to the doorway there, and it's not actually going to get anywhere near the inside of the walls, which is a very unlikely position here. But a few of the ones that are set up beside the supply point have actually dealt some damage to the units that are all mustered up inside the walls.
Yeah, definitely. The ones on the supply point, they deal devastating damage. As you can see, the mortars just draining in the units of the defense here. But the mortars on the bottom, they struggle a lot. I
Yeah, it
think
looks like it.
I
I'm
think
looking at
Rough
damage wise, but there's
Justice.
not really any major damage done to units at the moment. Argonauts units kind of getting a few bits of damage here, there, and everywhere, but obviously a few of the players are able to heal them up. It's only Vegeta's Palace guards that really took a good humping of damage here, because they're down to 11 out of 28 potential. But yeah, so far it's all right for Argonauts. They're not losing too much in the grand scheme of things, considering the mortar spam that is going on from Rough Justice.
Yeah, Argonauts still have the bottom supply point next to the C point, so they can also send some units there to heal them up, and of course the alchemists that are dealing, that are helping out very very good here. And it looks like the push is coming in from Rough Justice up the main stairs. Trap perfectly predicted here into the Queen's Knights and everything coming from the right side, and now also some Falconetti shooting in.
A good flank here though, coming from the other side here from Argonauts. They're trying to get them at the side as soon as they get into the walkway. But this is a very treble position if you're Rough Justice. They did pre-treb. They've got a few seconds to wait off, but a treb will be called here for the team. The Argonauts are actually set up behind them, so if they have to retreat, they will retreat into that as well here. So
And they're getting
good prep.
flanked as well from the point. One unit of Queen's Knights now coming in from Argonauts. I don't know why they waited so long with it, but now the Queens are in. One more Palace Guard here, but it looks like Argonauts are really struggling to defend this one, considering Rough Justice still have so many units here, and the Falconetti for great support.
See, this is going kind of in favor now here towards Argonauts here on the defense at the top of the wall, but slowly but surely the Iron Reapers are just ripping ahead here. And there we go. The advantage is in favor of Rough Justice here. It's just a few heroes they need to keep alive because Argonauts have lost a lot here. They're down to 6 hero lives, and that's going to make things a lot more difficult here on the defense to start with, as C will probably be giving up here, and Rough Justice will make their way forward onto the point.
Yeah, C point will definitely be kept by Rough Justice, except Argonauts are committing so much here, but I don't think that's the strat. They are setting up behind the C point, and I've seen this strat many times in the past in the CBL last year, or the last CBL we've seen. I think it was last year, yeah. And this one tends to work out great as well. And considering we have Phalanx now who are great in defending those choke points, I think this defense gets even crazier for the defense here, but they still have to pull it off, and they have already lost some more units than the Argonauts did.
Yeah, unit wise, it's going to be interesting here because overall they've got about the same amount of tier 5 units, but as it gets further down, the 4-star units in favor of Rough Justice here in the attack is quite considerable here. They're more than doubled the amount of units that they have that are 4-star units in comparison to the defending side of Argonauts here. They've got down to 212 3-star units, but they're not going to defend very well here compared to the 4-star units of Rough Justice.
Definitely not. And looking at the amount of artillery Rough Justice has already put up again, it will be a hard time for Argonauts. They have still 12.5 minutes to defend this, so time is not an option here. And I think they will have to figure something out to stay ahead of Rough Justice or get back.
Yeah, definitely. Mortar spam for days here. That's going to deal some damage to the units that are anywhere behind or over the top of that wall. There's a few counter artillery kind of being put in place for Argonauts, but they're down to left down to 2 artillery pieces potentially after this one. So this is probably the only chance they'll really get to use it. There's a couple more hero kills coming there from JJ. He gets another hero kill here. I don't know if that was with a ballista, if that's just the hero kill fighting, because there is a few ballistas set up, but I think that's on the defending side more so than the attackers. So
Yes, and one of the last 2 artilleries for defense is actually getting set up for the trap once again, as it is almost destroyed. So defense getting rid of 3 or 4 traps here, leaving the attackers with a limited amount. So traps, even though Rough Justice have 8 left, I don't think they will hit that much as they would love to have them hit.
yeah, definitely. Now here with the mortar spam at the moment, you can see the units from Argonauts that they have lost. They've lost multiple units of Phalanx, Queen's Knights, Iron Reapers here already at the start, and that's a very difficult task here because they're left with one of their other 2 sets of gold tiers that they did bring quite a predominant amount of 5-star units. And as you can see, with 1 down already, it makes it very difficult later on in the matchup if Rough Justice have not died as much or not lost as many heroes here.
Yeah, really, Argonauts only having this one setup left, and afterwards they only have green and blue units. So they will have to defend it with this setup, otherwise they won't have a chance to defend against Rough Justice, who have still so many gold and purple units left.
Another Trebs coming in here from Sheba. I wonder where that is towards the supply point. Can it deal some damage to the units that just spawned in it? Seems to have hit a couple of the Iron Reapers here in the back, but for the most part, not too many. Iron Reapers are so tanky here, obviously sitting on that spawn zone. They're probably a little bit okay in terms of health, and they might have to use their long swords there to support that and heal them back to full health.
Yes.
That looks like a double push here coming in from both Breach and the Gateway here. This is where they're starting to set up here. Rough Justice finally making that move after using their mortars. Let's see what they can do here.
They are already setting up one ballista for the gate, so they are looking to snipe out some heroes and units in the process. It looks like it's just a small bait here to get some more value from the artillery. If they are not moving in, then they will have to retreat a bit, as the mortars of the defense are raining in, or the one mortar.
Yeah, that done some good damage there on the units of Rough Justice, right into that breachway there, and it's stopping them kind of pushing that one too early, but at least baiting players down to kind of defend the breach here with their units, and obviously they have the advantage here on the unit towers compared to the defenders here.
Second trap now on this one last mortar, and this one might hit it just enough, but no. The mortar survives 2 traps already. But
oh
no,
no,
the musket.
it's gone. There we go. It is gone. The musket decides to finish it up there, and there you go. Sir Crank as well, picking up another kill here on Alpin, and that was going to be an emotion in favor of Argonauts here.
Yes,
but
and they're going in.
Rough Justice start making a move. There we go. This is the push from Gate as well as Breach.
And the breach looks just devastating for Argonauts here. Rough Justice just pushing through the phalanx of the defense on the stairs. Kinda useless because of the long range. And oh, another unit of cuffs again being picked up at the breach here immediately. And the defense is doing a great job here, coming for the flank of the breach.
Yeah, Rough Justice have managed to get the units on the stairwell finished, and now they're starting to make their way back down the stairway towards the Argonauts as their units are starting to move in from the gateway here, and the phalanx units are doing a fantastic job to get inside here, and they have managed to breach the breach and the gateway here and start to move forward, because now Argonauts down to 10 heroes alive. Unit choice has gone dramatically downhill here, and it looks like they're going to be a full-on push straight towards home from some of the boys from Rough Justice here as they try to get through the gateway. I think one hero managed to break. Yeah, one musket got in, but he's going to be picked off. Hopefully, if you are Argonauts, you're not going to let him get away with this inside the gate as they reset up here for the next push. There you go. Adjadu, as you expect, is knocked off, but Sir Crank doing some good work there. But Deja Vu was the guy that sneaked in the back and got killed here from the Argonauts defense. It's going to be a tough task here, though, as a defending side. Rough Justice going to make their way towards the right-hand side of the map here. And they're going to try and go in from the stairway rather than in through the gate at the moment and see where they can potentially use the rest of their artillery. 8 pieces left still to use. Still 3 trebs available for them as well. And then obviously, as you can see, the units here, a good amount of units here are favourable towards their side. They've got Queen's Knights, Iron Reapers, ISGs. You've got their Falconetti gunners, you've got some phalanx units in there as well, Halberdier sergeants, Wu-Wei, all ready to make that push, but most of the defending units are green units, blue units. It's going to be very easy for them once they spot that, and the trap comes in as well as the push.
Yeah, and here we go. Push goes in with the shields in the front and the Falconetti as a support on the tower behind it. And with this, it looks really, really good. Only some more gold and purple units for the defense. The rest is blue. And this sea of purple and gold units for the attackers is just marching forward, not caring about anything the defense is bringing against them.
Yeah, heroes are dying on the side of Argonauts here. They're down to 11 heroes alive, and only 353 units here as the final, or second last treb actually comes in here. Vegeta is the last one, the next one to die there, and there we go. Before you know it, it's a sea of red making its way over towards this home point here, and it looks very much a snowball here till the end point because they've got nothing here to defend it. No units are going to be viable here against the mightiness of the Rough Justice's high tier units here.
Yeah, and with this, the endpoint is half capped. Rough Justice just pushing straight over the endpoint as he should do it, just making sure nobody comes even close to this point. And only one musket on the point now will be picked off immediately. And with this, Rough
No
Justice
heroes.
taking the first match here, going into the lead 1-0. Good job there.
Yeah, fantastic job there from Rough Justice. Blood Story, like we spoke about at the very start of the matchup here, comes up as your MVP of the match here, and also the highest assist points for his squad. A good matchup overall, though, for them. You can see Sheppel there, 131 unit kills for his name. There's another player, Deja Vu, with 118. So a couple of the boys doing great work there in terms of killing the units. And you can see through the stats as well, hero killing for Sir Crank, absolutely doing what he needs to do as a dual blade. 6 hero kills, 62 unit kills, 17 assists, but the assists across the board are fantastic for our Argonauts. Most of the team into double figures here on assists. You've even got the short sword down at the bottom, Teros here with 20. Your highest contribution points, so it goes to Barcode. Fantastic work for him as well. But yeah, overall, a very, very dominant performance there from Rough Justice. They ended that with about 500 units against pretty much nothing left here of Argonauts here. Right, in terms of the MVP for Rough Justice, so Mainston for Argonauts, on the screen it's showing something different, so it was actually
Yeah, I think
other
it's
way
messed
around.
up in the end screen.
Yeah,
It was right
it's
the whole
very
match, but
strange.
yeah.
Yeah, Argonauts here in defense here. MVP goes towards Maeston, and then you've got your highest damage taken goes to TT as a short start here, as expected. But yeah, the one thing that you can see is very short of here is the hero kills here for Argonauts. A very difficult task made for them. They weren't able to get as many hero kills in comparison to what they received in that matchup there. And yeah, pretty much snowballs all the way through. Most of the heroes died 3 times here as well, so they weren't going to be seeing the light of day once again. But unlucky for Argonauts, the defense might have to be what they have to try and figure out next time around if they get another chance at it. But yeah, Argonauts have got their attack to come next. Let's see what they can do with that. We'll go to the post match analysis here before we skip that there. So used
Yeah,
to
and
just skipping it.
looking at this, we can see Argonauts, they didn't do that bad of a job, but their units were so much more costful. They had so many gold units against the purple units of Rough Justice. So looking at this analysis might be a bit misleading because the bit more losses of Argonauts are in reality a ton of more losses because they lost so valuable units there. While Rough Justice, they lost some purple, but not too badly. And then in the end, you can see it just the end was a defense with green and blue units, which is never a good option against those purple and gold units from Rough Justice. And with this, Argonauts losing this one and Rough Justice taking match number 1.
Yeah, we kind of expected it. Attack on Reginopolis. It does seem like it seems very well defensive oriented, but there's so many ways in, and with the attack having the abundance of artillery to use and trebs, it kind of slowly starts to whittle down the enemy's defenses before you can start making that push. And that's exactly what Rough Justice did there. They did exactly what they needed to do and sorted themselves out, ready to take control of the map. And they take map number 1. Will they do the same on the defense? Will Rough Justice have a defensive strategy that will outwit their attacking side of Argonauts? Or do you think Argonauts are going to take this one back here on the attack?
I think considering it was a map pick of Rough Justice, uh, I think Rough Justice have a perfect strategy here for their defense as well as they had for their attack. And seeing how dominant they were before, just only having 4 heroes dying in the whole match, that just speaks for itself. And I think Rough Justice have also this one in the pockets here, even though attack seems definitely more easy as you have so much mortars you can just rain down fire on the defense.
Yeah, definitely. Like we say, it's their common tactics, for example, are a lot of split pushes here. And that's exactly what Rough Justice did in that matchup. Now, Argonauts are going to have to find a way in. I assume it'll be a similar idea to the start of what Argonauts did. They'll not defend the home point, etc., like A and B, but they'll go back to the C point and pick a defense from there. I don't think Rough Justice will send too many players out because Vegeta on the defending side here last time round had his unit obviously out on the top of the stairwell, and that started to take a lot of damage here straight away from Trebs and Heroes and Musket players of Rough Justice. And I don't see Rough Justice kind of committing a player out there to do that, kind of as a bait sort of thing, because the Trebs can be devastating. And like we said, there's plenty of them. They'll use that along with all their mortars. And I think Rough Justice's position of mortars were all right, bar the ones that were maybe on the A point. Could have been a little bit better because we knew they didn't reach the distance here. So that was maybe not the best positioning, but at least they got the work done and they managed to push it through. It was a snowball effect from C pretty much. As soon as they won that fight on C, there's not really much you can hold back on it.
Yeah, I think Argonauts will have to place their artillery a bit more upwards to the supply point, possibly. I mean, those on the supply point still don't reach the full distance into C. They can just hit the area next to the entrance into C, but they do the job for that one perfectly. And as we have seen, the defense Argonauts setting up at the small gate at the C point in the round before, and that
Mhm.
one the mortars can hit just fine as they want there. And with this, I think the supply mortars are still the best because they are kind of safe. You don't have to go up to place them and place them in dangerous positions, but they have some problems depending how the defense is going for the defense.
Yeah, definitely. That's the tough thing as a defense. Like the limited artillery you have, you've got to choose it wisely where you're positioning it, and also where you're going to put it to either counter the attacking artillery or to find a perfect position where they can avoid being countered as much as possible. Obviously, there's Trebs that can counter them. They've got their own mortars on the attackers, double the amount to defend their obviously mortar spam from the defenders. So Argonauts last time around using a lot of culverins to try and take out Trebs because they thought maybe the Trebs would be devastating. But really, to be honest, I don't think the Trebs did the major of the work. It was the mortar spam that they couldn't really deal with. They maybe could have used more mortars against the attack inside mortars. But this time around, we're going to see what they have to do here on the attack now with Argonauts. Going into map number 2 here on Reginopolis, they are one map down here. And they have to start fighting themselves back here into this one, hopefully picking up the win. So we'll go to a map 3 for sure anyway. But best of 5, you don't want to be 2 maps down going into map number 3 because that makes it pretty much Rough Justice game to win. So let's see what the team of Argonauts can do here on their attack.
And we can already see Argonauts, they're going for kind of a similar setup as before. They themselves don't bring Falconet. Yes, we've seen Rough Justice bring before, but they have some, I don't know even how the unit is named, Naginata, as I see them here, which is interesting because we have also not seen them because halberdiers tend to be definitely better than those, but they have 4 of them, so I'm curious what they are going for. But the rest of the setup is just purely Reaper across the board, and then facing against Rough Justice, who have their Falconetti again with them, and then a ton of shields with phalanx and some more cuff than before.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be interesting to see what Rough Justice's idea here of the defense is. They do got a lot of musket players still here for their side, as expected, along with the mortars and a few more extra ballistas in here for them extra hero kills. Obviously, CBL rules, which means your maximum amount of lives you have are free. If you get them killed outright, that is them not able to come back in. So they could still have units to use, and that is instantly out of the unit pool for your attackers. And you don't want to be doing that if you're giving your team a disadvantage to start with.
Yes, and the defense is already falling back with the units. So also Rough Justice is not going for A and B point defense. They have one set of Reapers still there to maybe deal with some climbing units or some stuff like that. But I think they will also retreat when the main push from Argonauts are going towards the A and B point here.
Yeah, definitely. Unless the player on the wall has just forgot about sending his unit back to that supply point or even back to the zone, he's just too busy focused up here trying to find picks and hero kills potentially. As Sun Liang and Excalibur are trying to climb the walls, which is very difficult to do on this map because they're very, very tall here at the pillars that they are starting to climb. But yeah, nobody's just going to commit too hard to that. That's just a bait to kind of bait the heroes there, maybe to get them hit with some mortar shots or maybe even bait out some trebs on the heroes, which takes a few trebs to kill them, but good few shots. Worthwhile
Yeah.
sometimes.
Mortars are raining down their fire inside of the city streets just to clear those and to check if there are any units left. And as they have seen, there are none left. The gate will be opened in a few seconds as well, and then the push can come in. Argonauts get A and B for free and will then have to figure out a way to push on to C.
Yep, kind of as expected here, but you could do see the Rough Justice squad here where they are defending at the moment in time, looking on the C zone, inside the C zone, and a few players just outside of it, just kind of baiting and moving around at the moment until Argonauts decide to make their way in where they are capping A zone already, and they'll start to cap B zone simultaneously.
Yes, and with that, unlocking the C point, probably then going for the supply and the mortar spam, as we used to see it, except they get something different for us. But usually that's the strat that works out best for this map, and I don't think they will change this basic steps for this map here.
No, I don't see them being too much of a major change of what's going to happen here. You can see the mall player and the short shot at the top of the stairs here baiting some artillery up. That's a ballista and a mortar bit getting built, but I'm sure they're just as a bait here to potentially push some of the Argonaut players up the stairway and maybe pick them off one by one if they can. But
Yes,
they're
I'm
wise
pretty
to.
sure Argonauts would be happy to see those artilleries being fully deployed and not just a bait. But they will not commit for those because those artilleries just deploying there wouldn't be an option.
Yeah,
Because
it's
they would just be
definitely much a bait. They're trying to like pick these heroes off, aren't you? You want to do it one by one, give them a disadvantage to start with, so that when they do make their push, they've already a hero down, or even potentially a life down. Once you go one life down, you start to play it a little bit easier, and you have to kind of slow down a little bit and take your time. You don't want to be over committing, but at least if you've not lost a life yet, you know you've got another chance. You can maybe get your unit away safely, depending on where your unit are if you get picked off, but you don't want to be overcommitting too hard too quickly. As they send Xylanders under the walls here, Droyash at the moment, but that's probably just to sit there and wait for now. Stay out the way of the range of mortars from the defenders. But lots of mortars from Argonauts are doing the exact same here as Rough Justice. They've set them up here down on the A zone here. And like we say, is might just get over the wall here on that side. Does hit the mortar on the left hand side. And they've got a little bit of a better positioning than the guys of Rough Justice did have the last time round. Have managed to take out the artillery of the defenders here at the moment. There we go. There's two mortars down for the defenders, and that's good positioning from Argonauts.
Yeah, definitely. Those mortars tend to work definitely better. I don't know which position exactly they have changed. But those mortars, they are somehow getting inside of the city walls, while the ones from Rough Justice really struggled at the walls and didn't really manage to shoot over the walls.
Yeah, I think the Rough Justice ones were a little bit further to the right here towards the stairway, and then instead Argonauts have them more centralized, so there's less of a distance to travel. Obviously, if you're on the angle, there's going to be a little bit more distance to travel compared to the straight line into the home into the Z zone.
Yeah, probably. And they are working out perfectly. They are just shooting where they have to, and they're dealing massive damage. One ballista as well on top of the tower next
Yeah,
to the A point
I did
is
do some damage
shooting
to one of the
fully
heroes there.
deployed.
I don't know which one it was. I just see him jolt back there. And there's one
Oh!
picked off with one as well. God King Azura does get picked off from den attacks here with the ballista shot, and a Treb comes in on top of the ISGs that are starting to push themselves out of the wall and through the breach and the gateway here. Just coming to look for a flank, similar to what Argonauts did in the last one, but Argonauts aren't going to commit here to the stairway push. They're going to try and call these Trebs out on the units, and the Trebs about to hit. Units have avoided it though, and that's exactly what Rough Justice are wanting to do. Avoid that Treb at all costs. Argonauts also didn't commit too much, so they didn't lose very much here either. So that's a good start here. But Argonauts have baited them out into the open here, where they can use the mortars and the Trebs.
Yeah, definitely great strat coming in from Argonauts, baiting those defenders out of their perfect safe spots. And with that, those Rough Justice units, they are open for traps, they are open for artillery, and that's exactly what Argonauts are looking for.
Couple of heroes managed to kill a few of the units of Queen's Knights that were just hanging around the top of the stairwell there. Will deal some damage, but whose mortar is dealing damage to their own units? It feels like somebody just hit their own units, or is that the defending mortar that just came over the top, on top of the Reapers? But yeah, nothing major there going on. Somebody's definitely hitting their mortar shots on Argonauts here, and you can just see it landing right beside the Alchemist and such.
Yeah, Rough
Oh,
Justice having
right on top.
two massive mortars here on the right side, on the right top of one of the towers. One getting destroyed now, but another one is there, and the Falconetti as well. And those
Yeah.
mortars had perfect vision on everything that's going on. They were able to destroy a lot of artillery and hit
Finally
all of
being
those
countered
units.
there as well. The mortars here from Argonauts. They've got one set up there facing that direction. Didn't take it out. The second shot might just do it. Yes, it does. There you go. That mortar's eventually taken out. They figured out where it was coming from and eventually stops them having to worry about it too much now.
Yeah, but Falconetti are still there, so as soon as the push comes in, Falconetti will move to the top and then rain down death once again here. Another beautiful trap for the attackers coming in into the gate. Defense is split and we'll have to wait until they can push through the gate.
Yeah.
And now push is coming in from both sides, from Rough Justice, trying to get the flank in, and this looks perfectly done from Rough Justice here.
There's a lot going on in here. It's a big cluster of units here, but the Treb from TT might be absolutely devastating here on Rough
Oh
Justice. The
my
numbers
god!
just rain down here. We're at 1,166, but what's it going to be at here once this Treb is finalized? We're down at least 100 units there lost to the Treb. That was absolutely devastating here. If you're Rough Justice, you lose a lot here. A couple of hero kills, but in terms of unit-wise, that's a lot of numbers lost by the Treb. Alpine calling in another one, and is this going to be in a position that can deal some more damage here? It's back towards the supply point in the back here as a unit's about to be called out, but does it do
Yeah,
any damage against
perfect.
anything? Look at that. Another
Perfect trap.
70 units dead. And there we go. Argonauts pushing themselves in to the home the C zone.
Yeah, and with this probably taking over Z and Death just with two beautiful traps there. Cavalry coming in, getting rid of the Phalanx and the Wooey. And with this, taking control of C, which is not what Rough Justice wanted to see here. And they are down in unit count overall. And also, if you bring up the C view, you can see Argonauts, they have started with something like 50 more tier 5 units and like 300 less tier 4 units, and they have evened the playfield so much here with this push.
Yeah, the Trebs, they were devastating. That was about 200 units in total that they managed to commit over into the open, get hit by Trebs and the mortar shots, and there you go. Before you know it, Argonauts kind of tie the game up here a little bit here. They've got the C zone now with the defense all getting set up behind the walls. It's all about the final use of artillery phases here from Argonauts. What have they got in the hand here? Have they got perfect positions here, or muskets and such like going to be the helping side for the attackers here? Because that was a fantastic start off for Argonauts to give themselves an advantage going into the final point.
Yes, and TT, who placed the trap, I just checked, he is sitting on 91 unit kills. So this trap just hit Rough Justice like a truck and maybe even won them the whole game.
Yeah, it could well have put it well in their favour for sure. And obviously, a few of the heroes that were in favour of them as well. Death wise, to see what we've got here. There's a couple of heroes. They've still got quite a lot of lives left, though, in the grand scheme of things. So I don't think we're going to miss out too much heroes at the start here. But by the time the next push goes in, a few heroes will maybe have to kind of watch what they're doing as they send their units in and try to avoid being picked off again, because you don't want to be one of the teammates that does not come back into the fight.
Yes, definitely. And the ballistas from the defense are doing a great job. Already picked up one hero and they are looking for more. As there are two of those placed on the big stairs towards the end cap. Just looking to the wall, looking to the gate from C. And they will deal more damage if the attackers are not watching out carefully for them.
That mortar of Argonauts is doing some work here as well. With called in the Treb in the same spot to try and deal with the mortar here, but it's hidden behind that wall, and there you go. Eventually, that falls for Rough Justice. They're down to 5 pieces of artillery that they could potentially put down now, and the attackers are just raining fire down here with these mortar shots on top of the ISGs here as well, and the units down at the bottom of the stairway. Perfect position here from Argonauts, dealing a lot of damage with their units.
Yes,
Let's
we
see
can
what you
see
look at.
we can see the mortars just rain down more and more fire, and they are hitting perfectly, just giving just giving Argonauts, I should rather say, more opportunities here to go in. And looking at the C point, they have so many mortars set up there, but also defense still sitting on 3 pieces of artillery, while the attackers have two. Rarely to see that the attackers are running out of artillery, while the defense still have some.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be interesting. But look at the amount of mortar do have here. And we get encountered here inside the wall here at sea. Plenty to be doing, plenty of damage here. And they've managed to kind of tie the scores up. Like we said earlier, they've tied the scores up in grand scheme of things. And why is it not letting me get rid of my tab? There we go, eventually. Sorry, chat. Just in case you're getting fed up of seeing the spam through the units. But yeah, definitely a good position. As a Treb comes here on the supply point, is the unit going to be able to avoid? Are still on the zone. A few more mortar shots go in, and that will take out a good chunk of the Halberdiers here, and the Iron Reapers are walking into it as well.
And the push
Oof,
is coming in. Palace Guards just running through, creating a big front line there for the units coming from the supply. And then the rest of the units can just easily deal with the units next to the gate and then push on over. And this is a great push from Argonauts coming in here, just wiping out the front and now have to deal with the side.
yeah, definitely.
Side from Rough Justice is kind of going forwards. Phalanx doing a great job here, getting jumped from behind, and with this just slowly but steadily being picked off. Naginata monks in the middle of the fight here, and they're dealing some damage, which I didn't
Yeah,
expect them to do.
Argonauts are dealing so much damage to these units, and they've just wiped the floor with the Argonauts. But 700 units still available here, going into the final home point. They're already capping it as well. And there's one hero on his own, the short sword here in the back here, as the heroes start to make their way through towards the home zone. And this is a great position here if you're Argonauts. Once again, 9 heroes left alive here at the moment for Rough Justice, and this is a very rough position if I ever say one.
Yes, definitely. Endpoint being kept, half already done, and there are so many units from Argonauts. The only hope for Rough Justice is that all of those units are on their last life, but I don't think that would even matter because Rough Justice don't even come close to the point. And with this, Argonauts take the victory and tie the match on the best of 5, 1-1 here.
Yep, game set match here. Argonauts, fantastic effort once again. Another great attack here on Reginopolis. And there we go. It is one apiece in this series. Your MVP for Argonauts and your highest assist points goes to Leah or Layla. Well done for you. You are your MVP. Look at the stats as we go down. 154 units at the end of there from TT. Their Treb was a fantastic, devastating Treb. There were so many units involved in that one Treb that gave them the advantage here in terms of 5 and 4-star units here. Maced them as well, 100 unit kills, over 100 unit kills here. No hero kills, but done the work with the unit kills and then positioning here, finishes third in his team. Your highest contribution points goes to Adadu. And then looking down the rest here, hero killers. Wasn't really that many hero deaths here for Rough Justice, funny enough, considering the way it
Yeah,
was in the last match, but
none
it was just
for
the units.
none for Argonauts, none for Rough Justice. It feels like no hero kills here at all. Rough Justice doing a great job escaping those fights with the hero, but in the end, it doesn't matter if you just get overwhelmed.
Yes, Suliang also, he's the hero killer for the squad here as a dual blade. 4 hero kills, 101 unit kills, done a fantastic job once again here in the attack. And yeah, overall, a very good performance for Argonauts here, winning this one to tie it up. A very much needed map win in their hands. Defensively, Rough Justice, Prophetic picking up your MVP for his squad. 68 unit kills, 3 hero kills. Sheppel also picking up 3 hero kills as well. But yeah, overall, there wasn't that many devastating kills here in terms of hero deaths, or like most people still had plenty of lives left in the matchup. But you can see in terms of unit kills here for the Rough Justice side, it just wasn't that great. You know, no, very struggling to get over 30 unit kills does not help if you're going to be able to defend at this point here. God King Azura though picks up your MVD here for the highest damage taken as a glaive player here, but I'm assuming might have had something else on prior to it, but checked, and so just not managing to find the unit kills here.
Yes, exactly. And then going on to the analyze, we can see it was a very slow start to the match, as we used to see it from Reginopolis, as there are just all of the attackers taking A and B and then the supply until the fight can first break out. And you can see a lot of unit deaths, or not a lot, but some unit deaths from Argonauts here in the beginning, as they faked the push up the stairs and then just retreated. And those units who retreated were just picked up so easily. But then the push came in, and those beautiful traps, those two traps just made such a big difference. Winning them this first fight, and with this first fight, it wasn't really that hard to get the second fight also going and then push to the end game. So great job done from Argonauts here, taking match number 2.
Fantastic. This time only 2 major offensives here for the squad, and that's all that it needed. Whereas last time around on Rough Justice's side, you've seen them, they had 3 major attacks going on in the map here.
Yes.
But yeah, we'll be getting sorted for a map number 3. We know we're definitely going to a map number 4 here now, the way that things stand with 1 apiece here in the series. Did you think
Yeah.
it was going to go that way for Argonauts here?
It might be, but I think the chat still doesn't know which map we are going to, and it's time to tell you that one. It will be Kurak Castle coming up for us next year in a few minutes, but now just let's have a short look at the beautiful trailer.
Hey there, Congressmate Esports viewer, I'm CB.
Hey guys, it's your favorite Scot here, Marco G.
Hi, I'm Alpha.
Hello everybody, I'm Temple Shot.
Well,
Welcome to the CBL 2024 Finals.
Here we go, ladies and gents. We're moving into map number 3. It is Kurak Castle here. Argonauts taking the attack to start with here, and this is going to be a completely different strategy, I'm sure, than the last one here in Reginopolis. Still plenty of mortar spams for sure here as the attack inside here. A few more extra muskets maybe in there as well. But overall, what do you think is going to be the major change here in this one here, Alpha?
Yeah, I think the major change is for the defense here. We can see a ton of Wolverines and Javelins being brought, so we might see a A-point defense even going in. We didn't see Reginopolis being defended A and B, but maybe on Kurak Castle. We will see it here as I see those Javelins and the Wolverines.
Yeah, definitely looks like an anti-siege tower kind of set up here at the moment. And obviously, we know that Rough Justice always tend to have between 5 to 7 musket players. This time round, they are rocking 4 of them, it looks like. So less than they would expected. But yeah, four musket players. Javelins, obviously, the culverin spam will also help towards these siege towers here.
Yeah,
Cool.
definitely. I'm wondering to not see Falconetti being brought from the defense if they're going for the siege towers, but maybe they decided Culverines will be enough. Maybe they're only going for 1 round of siege towers and then falling back, deciding it was enough time. They maybe bait Argonauts even for waiting for another round of siege towers landing or whatever they decide to do. But I already see 5 times companion cuff in the attack, so they are aware of a Sally out here.
Yeah, I mean that'll be an interesting. We've seen this happen a few times on this map here. As a distraction, they always tend to come out of the gate, turn to the right if you're the defending side, and they will go straight out to kind of the siege tower here on the left, and that's obviously where they would want to kind of bait out as many players as possible to kind of keep their units away from walls and away from the siege towers as it pushes. But the
Yes, we can
delay
see
time will have to be set up first.
first trap already being called to one of the Culverines on the left side here. And the defense is really setting up here. So we will see a potential A defense coming in. I'm wondering where the Culverines are being placed, because those placements are always a big thing. And we can see them in the back being placed on the ground for the right, or for the left siege tower, to better say it, because it's left on the minimap. And 4 of them on the wall behind it to face
Yeah,
those siege towers in
nice
front.
positioning here to make sure they can get the 2 main siege towers here towards the A zone. A zone being a little bit more easier to defend in the majority of the map on display so far here in the CBL, but will they manage to hold it long enough here for Rough Justice to delay the time, because this far siege tower on the left of the screen is about to fall, but the right one might actually make it. It is quite a quick movement here for the siege towers to get to the wall when compared to some other maps.
Yeah, and I think that's honestly the threat from the defense, as they have not set up any Culverines for this middle siege tower, because they know they can defend at least 1 siege tower here. And I don't think Argonauts are willing to commit to 1 siege tower, because it's so
Yeah.
hard to push through.
That's the thing. You get to the top of the wall, even if you get some wall control, you have got that vulnerability of being pinched in the center here and pushed back from the top of the siege tower.
One of the short swords of the defense got grabbed by the Maul ultimate and is now being picked up. Great job done here, immediately picking up one of the heroes of the defense. And
Yeah.
with that, they have already 1 death. And I think Argonauts bringing the grab ultimate for the Maul is maybe not the worst idea here in this
Yeah.
CBL format.
It's a good position, especially if you could take them away from their support and get them pretty much swamped in by all of your heroes. You'll get the kill pretty easily if you've took them away from their units and also their teammates.
Yes, and you take one of their important lives, and if you get to pick 1 hero twice or something, they are really in a difficult position. They can't really commit anymore. And with that, I mean, this short sword has already 1 death. It can die once more, and then it will have to watch out for everything it is doing. And that can hurt a team so much if one of the players can't commit fully.
Yeah, definitely. Argonauts, though, are setting up plenty of mortars here just outside the gateway here that will rain over the top of the towers here onto the A zone and potentially give some damage. But there isn't really any units of Rough Justice here on the A zone. They're mostly hidden on the stairwells or inside the towers at the far right here at the bottom of the screen here.
Yes, and the Culverines, I'm just checking how much they have left in them. They have all 5 shots left, so 4 Culverines, 5 Culverines with 5 shots. Okay, one of them even with 10 shots, so the front siege tower will always be destroyed here. And the far left one is not there at the moment. It will have to respawn once again and probably be destroyed once again here as well.
Yeah, it's been destroyed twice already, hasn't it? So, I mean, that's quite a good effort here to do. So, if you're Rough Justice, is giving yourself a good advantage.
Yes. Mortars from the attackers and the traps are starting to deal massive damage though. So the defense will have to watch out where they position their units, otherwise they will just get shot at again and again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
GG lost a couple of phalanx units. There's a couple of Iron Reaper units gone. Maybe a couple more here of halberdiers. So yeah, overall the mortar spam and maybe the mortars are the trebs and stuff are doing some work here to start with here. But overall, they're still relatively okay if you're Rough Justice. You're maneuvering your units around. You baited out quite a few trebs here, and so far they're down to 9 trebs available.
Yes, and the towers are once again being destroyed. Left siege tower on 1 HP, and 3 Culverines, 2 Culverines on the speech, looking at this. But no heroes on them, so maybe the Javelins will be enough. We will see it in a few seconds. The Javelins have unlimited ammo as they regain ammo at the moment they are hitting something, which they do when they hit the Siege Towers. But Siege Tower is destroyed now here, even though the short sword did some great effort jumping those Javelins.
Yeah, that's a great job here for Rough Justice. Taking that Sage Tower out as many times as they have so far. We've lost so much time here. They're down to 5 minutes left, and they still need to take a to even get anywhere further forward to open up that home zone. And with 5 minutes is maybe a push and a half if you're lucky if you get the second push in. If
Yeah.
you have to fully reset, depending on how well it goes for you. So if you're Argonauts, you have to be thinking about making a maneuver somewhere very soon, or else you could be giving yourself a limited amount of time on the attack here, and you don't want to be making a disadvantage to start with before you even make a push.
Absolutely, but I think now this next round of Siege Towers will land at the walls if the defense is not bringing more, but they are placing some more new Culverines, and with that might be able to stop it though. We will
Yeah, they
see
still have
it.
2 more to take as well. They've got 2 set up here on the right hand side, but one's facing towards the furthest away one on the screen, and you've got one here on the bottom of our screen on the left here.
Yeah, this
Interesting.
tower is so close and he still half left, so it will probably make it, except if the defense decides to jump for it, which they doesn't. So 4 minutes 30 are on the clock, and the attackers can now start to make a move here as the siege tower landed. Luckily
Yeah, there
for
we go.
Argonauts.
Argonauts have now got the option to get up here 2 ways in. We'll find a position here to be pinched, but you never know. Are Rough Justice going to look to defend it now that it is here? Are they going to kind of go, right, it's only 4 minutes. We can hold off for 4 minutes, because if they have to fully focus the A zone, they're going to have to find a way into B, and there's no Sage Tower on that side, so there is no way in and around towards B, so unless you go through the gateway.
Yes, exactly. And the attackers brought some cavalry, so they won't have full infantry setup as the defense has. And with that, they will be in a bad position if they don't manage this to get this first push going here onto the A point. And they are going in from both sides with some phalanx, with some reapers, with a lot of reapers, honestly, and the palace guards as a front line.
Yeah, a nice wee flank here coming in here from Rough Justice here, but they're in a treble. And you do see the Treb coming, and that's dealing some good damage here on the units in the back, as the Phalanx units on the left of the screen here are starting to get overrun by the Elden. They are just running through here. If you're Justice, you have cleared the top of that left side wall, and now you have to try and meet them in the middle here on the zone as Argonauts start to push their way back.
Yeah, and this middle fight will be deciding who wins this match. And it looks great for Rough Justice. They have still so many units, but look at this. The Phalanx from Argonauts is still there fully, and it's dealing massive damage to all of the Reapers. Some cannons and grape shots are being deployed, but it looks like Argonauts are losing out on this first fight if the Queens can't deal massive damage coming in from behind. But now
Mason's
the cavalry
coming in with a cavalry charge here on the Palace Guards. They're getting up the stairs. They do manage to wipe a few of them there, with the push coming in from the Queen's Knights as well on the left-hand side of Rough Justice, putting everything into this defense here, and they're doing a fantastic job at it. They're staying alive, the heroes are staying alive, and some of the units of the Iron Reapers are still fighting away here on the A zone. Nobody's really made it into the back here as the fight goes on.
Yeah, some more Reapers coming in from the attackers, and another unit of cavalry will be running in through the gate, trying to pick off the units going towards the A point. But 2 minutes left, that's not much time, and you will be limited to the amount of units you can bring just because of the time here. And Argonauts, they are deciding to go for the B point with their companion calf, and that one could work out here for them perfectly if the defense doesn't bring more to the B.
Yeah, definitely. B zone started to be capped, but there is heroes going on their way to do that. There's a couple of companion cavalry going there, but the fight on A is underway, and because it is a sea of blue, and that's exactly what you want to see if you're Rough Justice. They're pushing Argonauts right back here, down towards their Sage Towers here. They're not getting any momentum, but the B capture zone is actually going in favour here for the most part here with the companion
And the
cavalry.
hero died before he could control his units in. Oh my god.
Is this going to be down to the wire here? Are they going to be able to capture that point quick enough here because the defense on A is doing a solid effort, but the majority of the defenders are there, and there's not enough heroes on the B zone. So we'll look up his B zone and hover up
B.
here because it is so
B is
close.
so difficult for the defense. They're bringing one more companion cuff with one hero, but will it be enough? Another hero coming in, and the B point is about to be kept, but there's so much more coming now for the defense, and they will manage to hold on to B as far as I see it here. Another unit of cuff just wiping those companion cuffs, and the palace guards will just brace on the point.
Excalibur's the last man there on the point with his units, but the musket player needs to try and get away his life, but that's not going to happen with it. Literally a second or two here is all that he needed for the B zone with 32 seconds on the clock. They're having to fully commit towards this B zone here, and the heroes are coming in with their infantry in through the gateway because they know that the A zone is pretty much not going to be possible. It is all about the B. But a great effort here from Rough Justice here. You can see it's a very close in numbers, but in the grand scheme of things, they have the defensive position here. They have the advantage, and now they started to push their way back up towards the A zone.
Yeah, definitely. And it was really, really close. But in the end, Rough Justice taking this victory first round on Kurak, and they're going in the lead 2-1.
Yeah, the defenders doing a fantastic job there. They win that one, and we'll show the stats for them first off. The Blood Story, your MVP once again for Rough Justice, 7 assists, 120 unit kills, along with God King Azura, who also gets 120 unit kills. You've got Xin Zhao here, 127 unit kills, 3 hero kills as well, and the majority isn't really been majorly hero kills wise. There's a lot with 3 hero kills. You can see Tocho here and Xin Zhao with 3. You've also got Estago here has also got 3 hero kills, but at the very, very bottom of the group here, the Dual Blade of Sir Crank picks up the most hero kills here with 5 hero kills. Doesn't get very much in the unit choice or anything else, but he does his job as a Dual Blade. He is there to assassinate where he can, and he's done his job for the most part for his team. They've done a great job in the defense. Solid effort on Kuruk Castle, and a great start for this one, round 3. Matchup 3, they make it to a 2-1 lead so far. Your MVP for Argonauts, it does go to Lucky Durowal. There we go. I'll try and say too much because it's too quick. Excalibur picking off 4 hero kills here, 105 unit kills. Great job from him as a musket player here as well. And Suliang, as we mentioned, does a good job of sneaking in the back and potentially killing some artilleries. But he has got 3 hero kills in his matchup. 81 unit kills, but yeah, it's a very difficult position for Argonauts because they weren't able to get the siege towers mounted early enough. That's probably what's kind of cost them the match here. Highest damage taken goes to TT as a short sword. Contribution points to Vegeta. Aaron gets the highest assist points. Let's look at these scores here where we go through it. But overall, Argonauts took too long. I think it didn't leave them enough time to make the pushes. They were down to about 4.5 minutes by the time the second siege tower eventually made its way towards the zone. And we'll head on towards the analysis here for yourself, Alpha.
Yes, and we can see the mortars of Argonauts in the beginning did a great job there, just dealing massive damage to the units. I think I've never seen so many units die in the process while the mortar phase. But then in the end, 4 minutes, at the 4 minutes mark, Argonauts decided to push up the siege towers. And they didn't lose that much more, but it was enough so that Rough Justice were able to defend the A point. And then the push for B came in, almost won them the B point there. And I think they had some great units left for the end cap push if they were able to do it, but they weren't because the defense got right in time onto B point, had the right units with them. And with this, just wiping out everything Argonauts just sent in because Argonauts just had no time and they had to go one by one. And with this, yeah, in the end, Rough Justice just clearly dominating this.
Very strong defensive effort here from Rough Justice. Their cover and placement was fantastic. It decided the matchup for them. They managed to stop the push of the siege towers on multiple occasions, which stopped them actually giving a second way in to the point, especially towards that A zone. And then obviously they tried to go towards the B zone near the end. The companion cavalry doing their work in the back to go and get in that position. Did manage to cap quite considerable amount, but didn't do it quick enough. And the heroes eventually were able to rotate for Rough Justice, get their way onto the point, and stop the cap with plenty of time left. So yeah, very good to use of artillery, especially considering they are limited to the artillery they have on the defense, but they used it as best as you possibly can on that map setup here. And I think that won them the fight overall because that stopped them having to even get into an encounter on the wall for too long. The fight on the wall was perfect for them because they were able to win one side of it on the defensive side, and then they were able to counter that back into the middle of the A zone with the hold off of the ISGs that they had on the top of the right wall, which was good enough to slow down the time for Argonauts to pin the push onto the point.
Yeah, definitely. And you've spoken about the time. The time, I mean, 4 minutes for a full A-point push where the defense has their supplies so close to it and so many units left is so incredibly hard. We have seen Argonauts struggle now, and I'm interested in the next round here with Argonauts in the defense and Rough Justice in the attack, because as far as I've seen it, a lone endpoint defense with dropping A and B never really worked. So Argonauts will have to try something like a A-point defense, but how will they approach it?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if they are they going to try and do a similarized strategy here towards what Rough Justice did? We'll have to wait and see because we are going into map number 4. This is match point for Rough Justice. They'll want to put everything into this attack here because if they win this, they will pick up that third place victory, and that will be giving them some extra points towards their classes and their units in the server. So yeah, let's see what the guys can do here. Push yourself towards that third place spot. It's all in their hands here. Rough Justice have to find the win on the attack, which so far they've won both the attacks on the Regionopolis, obviously, both sides, and now the defense was in favor of Rough Justice there. Can Argonauts hold it off, though, and take this to a map number 5? We'll have to wait and see here as the match is ready and with 50 seconds to get prepared for it. What can you say here about the unit choices this time around here for Argonauts in the defense?
I mean, we see twice Falconetti, which speaks for itself. Also, the mass Culverine setup. I think we all know what is coming for us. It will be A and B point defense, which turns out to work kind of well on this map, even though in ranked or some stuff like that, we don't really see it anymore because nobody wants to defend it. But in competitive, when you have all the people committing with the artillery, with the Culverines, that's just perfect here to defend A and B.
Yeah, definitely. Falconet is going to be crucial here if Argonauts are looking to do a similar strategy, but maybe even up that strategy because they've got Falconettes here. They'll do the damage quicker to these siege towers. There won't be that necessity to obviously wait on the culverin positions and get that perfect. If you can use the Falconetti well enough, you could probably take all 3 siege towers down for long enough if you're positioned correctly. But I'm sure there will be some heroes on the Rough Justice side that will realise there is Falconettis into the map somewhere, and they'll look to try and counter them and find a way to deal damage to the specialist unit because they are crucial when it comes to the map like this.
Yes, and Falconetti usually on this map are getting placed in the streets below, so maybe even the Ram will be a crucial point here because the Ram would give Rough Justice the opportunity to get in the city. But here we go. Sally is coming out from Argonauts with 3 times companion cuff, but it's immediately getting met by 1 companion cuff from the attackers.
Yeah, deja vu with the instant coverage here with his cavalry, but there's another unit coming out. 2 more sets here for Argonauts here as a delaying tactic, looking to kind of deal some damage as well here with the companion cavalry roaming the outskirts here. And no siege towers will be pushed at this point in time. As you can see, nobody's committing to the siege tower because they know they can lose units a lot quicker here. But can Argonauts hold this off well enough? One of their heroes dropped dead first off, and that's JJ who gets killed first off. And there you go. There's an advantage here already for Rough Justice as they can try and stay alive here. Look at this. He's going to get jumped here. Druash might actually take a life here as well. And this is the risky part. Alder falls down here as well. Druash falls straight afterwards, and there's already 3 heroes dead for Argonauts, and that means you're limiting your life count already before a major push has even been started. The only one left in the back here is Jillblade on the left-hand side of your screen here, who is trying to escape with his life. Not sure if he will, but because he's got that invisibility, can he manage to use that to his strategy here? Siege towers are damaged quite considerably though as well though, so they won't manage to push towards the wall yet. They'll wait till they're very, very close and then just finish that off near the end here. If you're Argonauts, clever strategy. No point in damaging it now because they're not pushing and they're not getting anywhere further forward anyway.
Yeah, and the dual blade here is managing to take out the second hero, and those were two crucial heroes for the attackers. Blood Story being one, and JJ the other one, two of the main players of Rough Justice. JJ
So
with the musket and Blood Story with the longsword this time around.
yeah, the front two siege towers get taken down at the same time there, as you were mentioning. The hero kill, and mentioned farthest away, left hand side now is eventually down. So there's the first potential push here. The siege towers will be waiting for another 10 seconds here before they start to get towards the wall here. So it was a good delaying tactic if you're Argonauts. Did commit a few heroes though, and a few good cavalry units here to start with, which we know in the end here in the defense that Rough Justice had, they needed to rely on their companion cavalry eventually to stop that B push. So has this maybe stopped the Argonauts being able to do that very quickly? Because when we look at the unit choices here, and what have they got left? Do they have any cavalry left if you're Argonauts? Doesn't look like. No, they don't have any cavalry units left. That's all their units of cavalry has been used up, and they won't be able to get a quick rotation round towards the B zone if that's Rough Justice's final idea to get towards that area with their units. So could have risked them the matchup here at least for the first 2 points.
Yeah, definitely. And we can see it. One of the siege towers is almost down once again, but the other ones are quite healthy and close to the wall here. The one is being taken down, but the middle one and the left one, they are really healthy, being shot at by the Falconetti, so they are taking some serious damage. But will it be enough? We will find out in a few seconds as the tower is coming closer and closer to the wall here in the front, but losing more and more lives in
These
the process.
Falconettis are just missing over the top, but I'm thinking enough cannonballs are going to hit it here before it goes, and there you go. Both of them fall simultaneously. The far right one on screen and the one in the center of the map here, eventually taken out by the Falconettis. As the Treb just misses them as well, that is very devastating. If you are Rough Justice, you spotted where they were, you put a Treb on top of them, but they get away with their lives here, so they'll be able to reset up, get themselves some more cannonballs set, ready for this next siege tower push. And Argonauts still have two more culverins or any other artillery they wish to use here, because the siege towers are back up now and ready to get pushed once again.
Yeah, but the artillery replacements from Argonauts I really don't like here. I mean, the one Korean here is on one last shot, but still the mortars of Rough Justice, they are dealing a great job, dealing great damage here, doing a great job in hitting all of those Koreans. So placing them more in the back was definitely the better strat for Rough Justice there. And I'm not sure if they can defend one more round of siege towers here.
No, the siege tower on the right does fall though eventually. There we go. That's that one. That might be the last one, but the Falconettis are getting reset up once again. Can once again probably do the same job here now and take out these siege towers. At least the one on the right of the screen.
Yeah, one unit of Falconetti down to only 6 units. So this one will not deal that much damage, but the other one is still at 12. And the front siege tower is also at 1 HP once again. I don't know how, but Argonauts are dealing massive damage here to all of those siege towers. And the one in the middle is down once again, and the one in the back will be shot at by all of the Falconetti here in a few
They've got two
seconds.
perfectly positioned culverins, which one of them just gets taken out here on the right side tower. They were the ones doing the damage to that right one side, but Falconettis take out the furthest away siege tower here as well on the right of the screen, and there you go, down to 5 minutes 20 seconds, and so far not even one siege tower has made its way towards the wall. Argonauts might have this here on the defense as they send some units into the middle of the gate because they think that might be their only way in to this point here, and they're going to have to commit very soon if you're Rough Justice.
Yeah, Falconetti dealing with the right siege tower once again. Kulrins as well doing massive damage, and this right one will fall eventually as the Martellatori even are taken down. They are only 9 alive, so they can't push this siege tower any further, and it will be destroyed in a few seconds, not being protected by those extra HP from the Martellatori.
Another hero goes for Argonauts though, but Den attacks as the longbow, like you said, is doing fantastic effort to kill the units pushing the siege tower. Delayed that for a few seconds, and then all of a sudden the Culverin or the Falconets were able to do that final bit of damage here to the siege tower and take it out.
Oh, Dual Blade in the city, taking down the Falconetti though. So Crank here doing massive damage. Only 8 alive from one and 6 from the other set of Falconetti. But 4 minutes, that was the mark. Argonauts started their push before and it didn't work out because of the limited time. And at that point, still, none of the siege towers for Rough Justice have landed on the wall. So time is getting a really big problem here. Especially if this one siege tower is not landing at the walls here in this round.
Very bad trap coming in there from Rough Justice as well. It just pretty much hits the wall with the ladders there with nothing else to deal damage. The Culverin's still up. The Falconetti gunners in the back here are still going to deal damage to that center siege tower, and it might take it out here. Can it do it with the limited amount of time it has left here? Culverin's the last shot potentially might take this out here as the trap comes. There we go.
It's not getting pushed anymore. The push is coming in through the main gate. Push going through the main gate. A ton of units here looking for the main gate. Tower is down once again. Extremely strong performance here from Argonauts, taking down the siege towers continuously. One landed now finally on the walls, but there's only some green shields going down the stairs there. But nothing more. They have just retreated, so the push will be coming in through the main gate, and this will decide if we will see another map with grasslands.
Look at the Falconets dealing damage through the gateway as well. That's already put Rough Justice off straight away. They've not found an effort to these Falconetti gunners, but the siege tower eventually does mount, but there's only 2 minutes and 50 seconds.
Yeah. Siege towers on the wall. Everything is being sent in with this one siege tower here. And this will be a really tough task for Rough Justice here. Trap deals some massive damage to those Reapers, but Rough Justice is immediately getting met here. And the Falconetti once again are shooting in, and they are dealing some more damage here. But I don't see that many units from Argonauts here on the point.
Argonauts are holding off for this defense here as a unit of Yanida will come in here from the front gate here to deal with that. Somewhere on unit here, the wheel. But the push on the A zone is where it counts here. And who's going to win this one? Sea of Red being matched in the back here from Argonauts on both sides here as the pinch comes in. Looks like Argonauts aren't managing to survive this one though. Rough Justice have overwhelmed them, and so far it's a Sea of Red. There's 1 minute and 53 seconds here. Are they going to fully commit this defense? It's only heroes on the point here, and they will all die instantaneously. And it could be a quick push here if they manage to kill these heroes on the point. With the snowball it straight away towards the home zone, potentially towards the B zone, because this is a full setup here. And Rough Justice have the point here. This is match point. This could be the win. This could be third place for them if they get the A zone here and potentially push their way through. Grape shot from Junkrat doing some damage here, and a couple of heroes keep dying. It's down to 7 hero lives. Make that 5 instantaneously, and Argonauts are struggling here now. Fully committed towards this zone.
Longsword on the point, nothing left. This is the end point, the A point for Rough Justice, and possibly also the end point. As we can see here, 1 minute left. Will be going to 4 minutes left, I think, and then 5 minutes even. And then with the B point, probably up to 8 minutes or something. That's just too much to hold on. Argonauts probably already lost this matchup. What can they do from now?
Yeah, it's going to be a tough ask here. Plenty of heroes on their final lives here. Not to mention the units that they have already committed here in this matchup. It doesn't look like it in terms of the scores at the top here, but when you look at what they have left, there is a few units here. It is mainly Palace Guards, but there is a few tier 3 units for the squad of Argonauts, not to mention the men's pikemen. One of the units is a Falconetti, and then you're looking at Alchemist and Martello Torre for Silent Warrior. He's going to struggle here now after using just pretty much his specialist unit, and his Iron Reapers are already gone. So, yeah, I think Rough Justice have the upper hand here. They still have 5 pieces of artillery, but it's 8 minutes left after taking both zones. It's plenty of time to make an opening here on the defensive structures of Argonauts here, because they've got nothing left in defense other than their units and their hero lives now, and it's all about defending trebs and mortars potentially here for the attacking side. When it looks to stats, look at it. You can see the difference in 4-star units. It's 461 to 136 in favor of Rough Justice. It very much seems like a Rough Justice win at this point, but what can Argonauts do?
Yeah, not much left here for them. They will have to hold on with the life. 7 minute 30 is too much time to really jump on the endpoint. And I think dropping that A point so close to the end was the worst that could happen to them. They didn't look for the last siege tower that was close to the walls, and with this, gave Rough Justice the opportunity to go in and take A here. And I think Rough Justice, they did a great job with this push, and they will probably do another great job with the next push going to the end cap now here. And they are not even placing the last 5 pieces of artillery yet.
Yeah, they use the trebs as a baiting situation here. They're trying to get themselves base up on the wall here and then trying to find the openings here. But like I said, Rough Justice done a fantastic job there. They were very much committed on that siege tower for the final couple of minutes there. And it paid off. They worked well together as a group. They obviously knew what to do with their units combining together. And they pushed through the point and did exactly what you were asking of them. Rough Justice, I don't know, but you could have done better if you were Argonauts, actually, to be fair. I don't think there was enough people on the flank of the other staircase coming in from the back side. And that's what kind of cost them the matchup there on the A zone, as the Rough Justice are in the back. They're taking the back supply point. This gives them the upper hand here. And if they look to take a unit out here, they're going to gain some extra superiority in the back. And they stick Argonauts in a tough situation where they can't go back for new sets of units, even if they have any, or to heal. The only way they're coming back is if they are respawning in the back here. And this gives it a very open space for Rough Justice to use their final trebs on the position towards the gate as they make a pushing through that main gate in the back.
Yes, exactly. Trap is looking for the Falconetti, not hitting them. So those are safe for one more time. But the push of the attackers is coming up the stairs and will go over the wall. And with a beautiful trap here, they will probably break through very, very quickly here in a few
Oh, it's a
seconds.
good
As the
bait
trap
with the
lands.
trap for sure as they gain some headway up on the wall. Kuma is the next one to die. And there we go. The push starts to come up on top of the wall here from Rough Justice, trying to get some momentum going forward. They're staying together. You don't see any heroes pushing up too far unless you're Bloodstory, because he can survive it as the longsword, as well as the Cook Gateway push coming in at the same time here. Now, it is coming in from both angles. Rough Justice coming down from the stairs and coming in from the gate. They have 3 trebs left. Where are they going to put it?
Yeah, definitely traps. Probably not a good option here as they want to push onto the end cap, and there's not much trappable space, but they will just look for the push without the traps, and they have the units to do so. They are breaking through on the left side, and there's so much more that's coming here for the defense. Defense really struggling to hold off those units, and now there's coming more of the Rattle Marksman on top of the wall would make it even harder. And
Yeah,
with
they
that,
ran Marksman doing a fantastic effort up there from Jekt, along with the grape shot damage as a sea of red comes across the zone. There's no really much to defend this. Unit wise, there is nothing. They're going to have to wait for the respawners, but so far it's a sea of red over on the whole, and they're just going to block it off now at the gateway. There's one hero left, and it's Druish and Alder. Actually, there's 3 heroes left. Sulian came out of invisibility there, and there you go. What are they going to be able to do to hold this off?
yeah,
Not
4
much.
minutes. 4 minutes definitely too long for those 3 heroes. Make it 1, make it 0 now. And with this, Rough Justice taking the 3-1 victory, exactly what I expected them to do. And I'm kind of happy to have the prediction right.
Yep, exactly that. We predicted that Rough Justice might take this one. Looks like this is the case for us. We were right as the casters. We didn't cast curse them at all. They done a fantastic effort there. They won their attack. They did leave it very late, like Argonauts did. However, they went on to win it. They eventually found that way in on the A zone, and quickly enough, they have managed to take that opportunity to get the win. And that means they win the series 3-1. They take 3rd place in the CBL, and that is well done from Rough Justice. They're the Aerial Cup winners this year in the series as well, and they've went on to at least bag a 3rd place finish here in the CBL. Bloodstory, once again, your MVP of the squad. This boy has not been stopping off that MVP spot. 4 hero kills, 63 unit kills, 17 assists, working together as his squad, joined by Junkloot second there with highest assist points here, 74 unit kills. And you could just see it across the board here. The amount of players with assists are just skyrocketing up into double figures. It just shows you how well they play together as a squad. JJ, like we said at the start, picked up a couple of hero kills here. He picks off 5 in total with 107 unit kills. and we'll have to click through these people as we go down. But yeah, good effort from them. A fantastic push, fantastic timing. God King Azura as well, picking up 5 hero kills, 69 unit kills. Deja Vu, 132 unit kills. Barcode again, turning up again, 6 hero kills. Jekt, 7 hero kills. That's the marksman might have done some good damage in the end at the top of the stairs there. Fantastic from him. Tocho, Fifetic, Scourge, Crank. This time around as a dual blade, not actually getting any hero kills for a change. So it's a different scenario here for Sir Crank, but overall, as a squad, they worked together and done exactly what they needed to do to win this matchup. They didn't make it to go to a game 5. They didn't want to rely on that. They did it on map 4 to take the series 3-1. Suliang, your MVP for Argonauts. It wasn't enough. 6 hero kills in all. Didn't do enough damage, but you could see, look at the units in terms of kills. There's nothing really there. Nobody reaching over 60 unit kills per individual player. That's a difficult position to be in at the start. Your highest contribution points goes to Alpin. Druish as well, doing some good effort, but nothing really solid here from Argonauts. When the pushes eventually came in, they lost so much of the fight so quickly on the top of that Sage Tower. It looked like they could have hit it. They actually delayed the time better than Rough Justice did, but overall didn't finish the same way that Rough Justice did. Here we go. All to you, Alpha.
Yes, exactly. You can see the Sally out not working good for the defense there, losing 3 units of companion craft in the beginning, and then struggling to get back alive in getting 2 hero kills there, but losing 3 of their own heroes, 4 or 5 even, looking at the picture there. And then doing a great job though, defending those siege towers till the 2 minutes 50 mark or so, but then the push comes in from Rough Justice. You see it, they are just dealing so much more damage to Argonauts than they are taking themselves. And with this, getting the A point and then just have free access to the end cap supply, and from there doing a beautiful push, killing so many more units from Argonauts, and then going just straight on the endpoint, clearing the heroes, doing exactly what you have to do in this position. And with this, winning the whole best of 5 and taking the 3rd place of the Conquest Blade League, which is impressive.
Exactly that. Rough Justice, after a few great performances throughout the group stages, the nerf the performances were phenomenal. There was a bit unlucky there against Nerf Everything as well. Their toughest matchup, even though you'd expected them potentially to find it more difficult earlier on in the bracket, but they came through that and they managed to get to a position where they have came up against Argonauts here. They just became the better squad here at the end of the day. They go on to be your 3rd place finalists and winners. So well done to them. That's pretty much all you could have asked for them. They've done what they had to do on the day, and they have turned up of Justice 3rd place victors. After this, though, we're going to go take to a short break. So we're going to send you, as casters, we're taking a break anyway, but we're going to send you over to Drayton and CB once again, who are going to go over a little bit more analysis here for you guys coming towards the final matchup here of the day here for EU, where you're going to be seeing the 2 major finalists, Nerf Everything, taking it up against YB, which you expect to kind of be your favourites going into it. What do you think, Alpha?
I think I've looked at the community prediction with 85% looking forward to see Yeah Buddy winning. I think I can definitely stick with this. Yeah Buddy is such a strong team. I don't see them losing anything here. Maybe even 3-0ing the finals. But we will see after the pause. And then also CB and Drayton will have something to talk about there. But first of all, let's have a short break.